Now seems like a pretty good time to ask the question, should you buy a gaming laptop or a desktop PC? Gaming laptops are so much better than they used to be. With all new graphics cards and new processors, including AMD's fantastic Ryzen 5000 series, high refresh rates, 144 and 240 Hz are standard now, with high-end laptops pushing 300 and even 360. Plus we're now seeing these Quad HD resolution gaming laptops also with high refresh rates. And the better specs are paired with sleeker and more compact designs, much improved cooling and noise levels, although it does still depend on the laptop, plus some really interesting new form factors like this Zephyrus Duo SE with dual 4K screens. And of course, with the ongoing issues around availability of desktop GPU and CPUs, and sadly skyrocketing reseller prices, so now seems like a pretty good time to buy a gaming laptop. But what about desktop PCs? So for this video, I've actually partnered with AMD, CyberPower, and MSI. Everyone's chipping in on this one, but particularly CyberPower, who sent over this incredible pre-built gaming PC, complete with a 12-core AMD Ryzen 5900X and an MSI Radeon 6800 XT. And the best part is you can actually win this. It is a UK-only competition, I'm afraid, but we're giving away this PC along with some fantastic MSI peripherals, including their RGB Vigor mechanical keyboard and the ultralight gaming mouse. Although I am keeping the MSI Dragon, this is too cute to give away. And I'll also put links to this exact PC and CyberPower's configurator where you can spec your dream PC or gaming laptop in the description as well. Okay, I hear you. Who's really buying big, expensive gaming laptops like this? Why not go for a desktop gaming PC that's more powerful and probably cheaper as well? I mean, desktops are more flexible when it comes to upgrading and expansion. They're also usually more powerful, they run cooler and also have water cooling options. And generally, they just offer a lot more bang for your buck. Desktop GPUs also get a serious speed advantage. The RTX 3080s in these super premium ASUS gaming laptops aren't anywhere near as fast as the desktop version. In my tests, the MSI Radeon 6800 XT in this all AMD pre-built CyberPower system was between 55 and 130% faster in the games I tested than either of these high-end laptops, albeit with NVIDIA's equivalent GPUs. But more importantly, not all laptop graphics cards are made the same, because we've got 3080s with TGP, so total graphics power, anything from 80 watts up to 150, which has a 73% faster base clock. And the crazy thing is, if a manufacturer uses the lowest power 3080, it's actually slower than the highest power 3060, which can all get so confusing. And to make matters worse, every laptop manufacturer and OEM is a little bit different about how they tell you. Some put it front and center when you buy a laptop, other ones you have to dive into the technical specifications to find out. But the point is, as impressive and powerful as these new gaming laptops are, it's more confusing than ever to actually buy one. And this is something you just don't have to worry about when you're buying a desktop gaming PC. You're unlocking all the potential performance on a desktop with the much higher power components and of course the better cooling, while also paying a lot less than the closest spec rival laptop. So these are all good reasons why you might want to avoid a gaming laptop. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, you're paying more for a tightly engineered product that's designed to occupy a fraction of the space a desktop does, while also having to cram in a keyboard, a touchpad, a big battery, as well as the display. So as usual, it comes down to what suits your needs, your lifestyle, and your constraints, whether it's space, money, or time. Now, I love building PCs. There's something really satisfying about researching and buying the components, having them all arrive, put them together, pressing the on button for the first time, and it booting up and posting. It feels like a rite of passage for any PC gamer, and it is enjoyable most of the time, when it works. But chances are, unless you've built a few PCs before, you will hit snags, especially if you're impatient like me, and good cable management is just something that other people worry about. So building your own PC isn't for everyone. It takes time, it's great if you enjoy doing it and you've got some experience, but not ideal if you don't. Laptops and pre-built PCs, on the other hand, are a whole lot easier. Plus you're getting manuals, servicing and customer support, and also crucially warranty as a package if anything goes wrong. Buying a pre-built desktop or a laptop from a retailer like CyberPower lets you spec your PC pretty much exactly how you'd want. And crucially, you can pick what would otherwise be an unavailable GPU and CPU without having to wait an absolute age to get it, or worse, paying 2 to 3 times over the retail price from a scalper for a card that for all you know has been worn out as part of a crypto mining rig. Being a PC gamer now is probably the toughest it's been, well, in my entire lifetime. And so this does cut out some of those issues because they can source the components, the GPUs and CPUs, which to us mere mortals just are not available. Now, to be fair, pre-builts do usually cost a little bit more than doing it yourself, but if you do factor in the excessive GPU reseller prices, right now, pre-built is likely to work out cheaper. And of course, it's also built by professionals who do this for a living and can do cable management in ways that I can only dream of. Not just that though, because you can be smart with how you spec your PC. For example, if you went with an all AMD build like this, that comes with a recent Ryzen CPU and a RX 6000 series GPU, then you're getting some extra boost to gaming performance thanks to features like Smart Access Memory or SAM. And it's basically a much faster way for the CPU and the GPU to transfer data to each other. And so it gives the processor and the graphics full access to each other's memory. And this can then help boost your frame rate in games that have been updated to take advantage of it. So that's lots of vague waffling from me, but let's actually put these to the test and see what kind of numbers we can get from them. And so we've got this high-end CyberPower rig against the closest spec laptops that I could get a hold of. We've got the Asus ROG Strix Scar 15 and also the Zephyrus Duo 15. It is worth noting that the 3080s used in both these machines are 115 watt TGP parts. I do realize we're using NVIDIA graphics cards in here and AMD graphics in here, but this is just meant as a sort of high-level comparison. Unless you literally win or buy this specific PC, desktop specs are always going to vary, as are laptops. So yeah, this is just to give you an idea of the kind of performance difference between laptop parts and desktop parts. And so in Hitman 3's benchmarking tool with maxed out settings, the desktop managed a 43% higher frame rate at 1080p, 52% higher at 1440, and was a massive 90% faster at 4K. And it equates to getting just over 50 FPS on the laptop versus just under 100 FPS on the desktop with this 6800 XT. In Call of Duty Warzone with ultra settings, the desktop was 57% faster at Full HD and almost twice as fast at 1440 and 4K. And here I did actually have to drop the settings down a little bit on the Zephyrus at 4K to hit that constant 60 FPS. And finally, in Rainbow Six Siege, using ultra settings again, I saw between 115 and a 130% boost at each resolution. And the good news is I was able to max out the 165Hz panel on the Scar 15 at 1440p, which felt amazing to play. Okay, so with all that said, what are my big takeaways? Well, number one, I think you can have a great experience with a gaming laptop. I think these are a little bit too expensive for most people, including myself. I think the sweet spot right now, if you are going to go out and buy a gaming laptop, will be in the area of about £1,000 to £1,500. And that will get you an RTX 3060 or even a 3070, 144 or 240Hz 1080p screen, the latest Ryzen 5000 chip like the 5800H, and 16 gigs of RAM. And I think that kind of spec for that kind of money is really, really good value actually. Number two, desktop PCs are undeniably just a lot more powerful. We're getting higher wattage parts and also much better cooling. So in terms of raw performance, you can't beat a desktop. And you'll get this advantage regardless of whether you go for a lower or higher end hardware. So no surprise there really, but it is amazing that laptops can get close. And the gap will be even narrower with something like the MSI GE76, which gets a full fat 150 watt 3080. Number three, and the biggest performance differences we're seeing are at 4K. So something like the Zephyrus Duo SE with a 4K screen isn't ideal for gaming, although you can of course always just drop the resolution, but that's why most gaming laptops top out at 1080p or even like this guy 1440, which I think is actually a much better balance of image quality and performance in this form factor. Although a high refresh 1080p is still my recommendation for the best value gaming laptop. Number four, and this isn't something we've really talked about a whole lot, but you do have to ask yourself, how important is having this portability? Because you're getting all these restrictions with the size, the power, the price. in order to have something you can carry in a backpack or take with you, because it is also clear that you are getting more bang for your buck with a desktop. Although on the flip side, you are going to have to pay for a gaming monitor and all the peripherals to go with your desktop, which are, well, built in with a laptop. So I think personally I'm more of a desktop gaming PC kind of guy, but what about you? Would you go for the laptop or the desktop? Let me know in the comments below, and if you do want to see more from me, if you enjoyed the video, which hopefully you did by watching the whole thing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, ding that bell and like button and all those annoying YouTuber things. But don't forget to click on the Gleam link in the description for a chance to win this PC from CyberPower, and I will also leave a link if you want to check this out or even spec a PC for yourself. And I will see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.